So this is an Adria Adora 542DL. So I'll take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake, and we'll demonstrate this to you here in person. Front of the van, you've got your gas regulator on the bulkhead with your yellow shut-off valve. Gas pipe work will be fitted by the time you arrive on site, so you can see that is there. And in the front locker, we've left some accessories there that were in the caravan when we received it. Side of the van, you've got your battery locker with your mains power lead coming into the side of the van. And underneath the front of the van, you'll notice on each corner you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while it is on site. You would never lift the caravan with the wind down legs, as it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. Then got the flue vent for the heating and hot water system. You need to make sure this flue cover is removed whenever you are operating the caravan on gas. Then got your two fridge vents. Behind one of these fridge vents there is actually a gas flue, but these vents are essentially there to let the hot air out the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. The motor mover and wheel nuts will actually torque the wheel nuts while you're here on site the day you take the caravan away, and we'll also demonstrate the motor mover so you can see how that works and so we can hook it up to the car with the mover. You've then got your water pump connection. You're going to press down the blue trigger on top and push the pump into the side of the van and release. You're then going to drop the pump into the aqua roll itself, and that will allow the water to be picked up from the aqua roll and taken inside of the caravan. I'll demonstrate the rest of that once we go inside the van. Then got our toilet system. You'd open this cap up here and let it drop down, so you can put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid for the flush tank on the caravan. And in the bottom you've got your toilet waste cassette, which will open up this door. The toilet waste cassette, very simply with the yellow handle at the bottom, gets pulled out. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. You've got a measure here for the blue and the pink fluid. And then you've got a yellow button on the back of the cassette, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. On the rear of the caravan, on either side, you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. Again, you wouldn't lift the caravan with those. Storage locker for underneath the rear single bed. Door for the caravan, so you can get in and out. Storage locker for underneath the front seating area, and a barbecue gas point. We're now going to go onto the inside of the caravan. I'll demonstrate how you fill the water system up first. The first thing you're going to do is come to the control panel just on the inside of the door just here. Now you've got your voltmeter just here, or volts, which you need to have turned on. And you've got your water pump run. You need to have both of these turned on to get power into the inside of the caravan. Once you've got them two switches turned on, you can come, once you've got that first switch turned on, you can leave the water pump off to start with. You're going to come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan and make sure your yellow drain down valve is parallel with the floor. That will enable you to fill the water system up. If that valve was pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, it would drain all the water out of the system on board the caravan and straight onto the floor underneath the van. So like I said, that valve needs to be parallel with the floor before you fill the water system up. You'll then come over to every tap on board the caravan and open them all up on the hot side. As you can see, I've already filled the water system up on this van. What you do is you'll open the taps up. So that's a tap in the kitchen, tap in the bathroom, and the tap on the shower. And once you've done that, then you can turn your water pump on and the water system will start filling up. Now to start with, the water is going to spit and splatter. The reason being, it's got air in the system and you need to get all of that air out of it. So once you have water flowing out of every tap, as we have now, running continuously essentially, you'll be able to shut all of the taps off, and then you'll be able to start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan with either the gas or electric water heater. Now underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan, you have two options. You have your electric water heater, which you can turn on the switch on the right hand side, and that's a preset temperature of around 35 to 40 degrees. We're going to turn that off for now. Actually, no, we'll leave it on so when you arrive on site it's nice and warm. And then on the right hand side you have your option to run gas water heating. Now the dial on the outside here is the control for that. So you spin the dial round to the flame symbol down the side here, so this little knobbled part is towards the flame symbol. And then behind here you'll see a green light. That green light is essentially a pilot light for the gas system. Now a red light has just appeared to let me know it has failed to ignite. The reason being at the moment is we haven't got any gas on board the van. That green light though, like I said, when that is ignited and it has stayed on without the red light, means the gas system is ignited and it's working as it should. You can then control the temperature of the water heater between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature. Now, as I said, with the electric side, or if I didn't say it, you will need to actually boost the water system on the gas side when you're showering on board the caravan. So if you connect to mains, it's just going to warm up at a steady rate. But if you use the gas, it will warm up much quicker and allow the water system to boost when you are showering. So that is your electric and gas water heating for the caravan. The next heating system we're going to take you to is actually the room heating. So essentially your heating for the caravan itself. On the opposite side of the van, below the control panels, you'll see you have two switches. The bottom one here is the main power switch for the electric heating. And above it, you have a dial with 500, 1000 and 2000 down the side. What that relates to is the amount of power you are putting through the heating and hot water system from the site you are on. Now, every caravan site should allow you to run 500 watts of power. However, some will allow 1000 and 2000 watts also. The green light behind here is the indicator to say the heater is working. And then you can control the temperature of the heater on electric on this dial on the front between 1 and 9. Obviously, the higher you go with this dial, to the 9 for instance, the warmer the heating system will be. If you want to turn the heating off, you spin this grey dial back round with the knob on it again to the off position on the right hand side. If you have got the means to run 2000 watts, the heating will be a lot more efficient at that amount of watts coming into the caravan. On the heater itself, you've got the option to run gas, so you've got a dial on this right hand side that looks a bit like a gas barbecue dial. You'll press and hold in the gas valve once you've got the gas turned on. And in the window down the front of the heater, you've actually got your pilot light in there when it has ignited. Once it has ignited, you'll hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the gas valve and you'll be able to control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. If you want to use blown air, you can do that with the dial on the left hand side. So around the van, you'll see little vents cut out around the van. And essentially, this dial here is a bit like the fan speed you've got in your car. So this dial on top is the fan speed itself. The dot here indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. The wave symbol on the left hand side that you see here is your continuous blown air. So a bit like, again, like when you've got the fans turned on in your car. And now what will be happening is all the heat will be coming out these vents around the caravan if you had the heat turned on. The A on the right hand side is basically an automatic blown air. So essentially it will cut in and out with the thermostat on board the van. So you've got continuous blown air, heat coming out the front of the heater, and automatic blown air. On the automatic you can still control the fan speed on the dial on top, but it will cut in and out with the thermostat on board. We're going to go over to the fridge next, as the cooker, hob and grill is very simple to use, very much like your household appliances. As long as you've got the gas turned on, then that'll all kick in and work as it should. So we're going to turn the fridge on with the power button. Then you'll notice at the moment we've got the gas option there. The fridge would self-ignite on gas if the gas was turned on, and this blue light at the bottom is your pilot light. If it fails to ignite, it'll actually flash the blue light at you, and it'll put up an error code 9 just here with a spanner symbol, and that essentially means there is no power source from the gas. To control the temperature of the fridge on gas, you use the button on the right hand side, and that is the same as if you're on mains power also. We'll press the button on the left hand side and you'll notice it changes over to mains power, so you've got a plug symbol there now. Again, as long as you connect it to mains power, it will automatically kick in the fridge, and then you can control the temperature on the right hand side. If you're towing down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box, you can do that by very simply going to the 12 volt mode. So essentially what the cool box mode does is, if you've got the right connection on the car, it will put power through to the caravan from the car you're towing with, and at that point it will allow the fridge to kick in. And as you can see at the moment, it's letting me know there's no power source from a car, so it's coming up with error code 10 and the spanner symbol. But it'll allow the fridge to kick in, and it'll essentially just chill the fridge like a cool box would. It won't actually get the fridge cold. So that is just for when you're towing down the road. It does not work off the 12 volt supply on board the caravan. The last thing we're going to go through on the inside of the caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. very, very simple to use. You have a pump flush on the toilet, up and down to pump flush the toilet. Have a toilet full indicator light, so it will let you know when the toilet waste cassette is full and it needs emptying. And down the front of the toilet, you have the grey waste handle. Now, this grey waste handle needs to be pulled towards the centre of the toilet to allow the toilet waste to go down into the cassette under the van. If that cassette door was shut, it would actually stop the waste going into the cassette and it would just build up inside the toilet. So we do recommend that you open that before you use the loo, and when you are finished, we recommend you shut it back off. So that is the Adria Adora caravan. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.